Today is a great day at Women's Television. Women's TV is happy, just blessed to have a very distinguished guest with us today. First, allow me to share my name with you, which is Gloria Nixon Pone, and I am the founder of Women's Television. At Women's Television, we simply say we celebrate a few good women doing great things in family, in community, and in the world. And today I'm particularly excited because we have a young woman who has done so much. She is affiliated with Toastmasters International. She is a district governor. Toastmasters has nearly 300,000 members. And she's going to tell us about it. And she's also going to share with us the leadership program that is especially designed for young persons. And her name is none other than Miss Elaine Rogers. Elaine Rogers, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, Gloria. Thank you so much for asking me to come here.
You are more than welcome. So I want to talk about Toastmasters because speaking is so important to me. When I was a little girl, I had a traumatic experience and I was muted for about 2 years. I did not speak. It was almost as if I was afraid to say a word. And I carried that burden with me for many years. So I know the importance of communication. I know the importance of a good word, and I know the harm that a bad word can levy against a person. So, Elaine, please tell us about Toastmasters International. Tell us how you got started, and share with us from your heart, will you?
Well, I'd just like to give a little background of Toastmasters because a lot of people have never even heard about the organization.
You're kidding.
Even though it's been around since 1924. Actually,
Wow.
This is our 90th year.
Wow.
Well, I say this is our 90th year. I haven't been around for 90 years.
You haven't?
Toastmasters International has been around for 90 years. But it started 1924 in the basement
Wow.
of YMCA.
Wow.
By a man named Ralph Smedley.
Smedley.
And what he did is he wanted to have an organization to help young men to be able to speak better and to be better leaders. Now, you notice that I said young men.
Well, you know that caught my eye right away. So I'm going like, are the women barefoot and pregnant? Are they in the kitchen cooking up a stew? Where are the women? There were no women allowed to be part of Toastmasters International in 1924. And that's after we were given the right to vote in 1920.
Well, we could vote, but we could not be Toastmasters or members of Toastmasters International until actually the 1970s.
You're kidding.
1970s,
wow.
Yes, Gloria, is when we were actually allowed to be officially members. But that didn't stop some women from actually sneaking in.
Did they have to cut their hair or go bald or something?
No, what they would do is, because you sent in your membership to the international organization. So, for example, if Gloria Nixon Pone wanted to join, and since she's a female, what she would write in her application, and she would be G. Nixon Pone, and therefore the international organization didn't know that she was a female.
Wow. That sort of reminds me of slavery when the slave master says, you can't read books, but you can read the Bible. They didn't know that the Bible was a book.
Yeah. Well,
wow, that's interesting. Yeah. I don't know, sometimes I'm taken aback by the fact that men want to exclude women, because as a theologian, that happens so much in the church. In fact, there's a law, a civil rights law, Code 702, that says that a church doesn't have to hire a woman. And I advocate to strike down that law because it violates my constitutional right. So it bothers me, and that's part of why we have Women's TV, is because we want to hear how women are being treated and what they're doing. We want to hear about their successes, and we want to hear about their failures, and want to hear how they're being treated, most importantly, because I think there's no thing more important than being treated well. So why did it take 50 years for them to allow women?
Well, I'm not sure what happened, but I think it was just the surge of women who insisted on being included. But I'm happy to say that right now, as you said, we have about over 290,000 Toastmaster members throughout the world in 122 countries, and more than half of those members are women.
Yay, go girls, go girls, go.
Yeah, we've kind of made up the distance. However, in the leadership, we are still not quite there yet, because as far as international presidents, what is it, 25 years or so since we've only had like 5 women international presidents. And I'm hoping that that will change.
Well, we got to do something about that. Maybe you'll be president.
Maybe.
I understand that you're going to go to Malaysia, which is where they're having the international convention in July, isn't it? Or is it August?
In August.
August.
It's August. Even though it's Toastmasters International, even though we are in 122 countries throughout the world, the truth is that the center of our operation, our international conventions, have always been in North America. That's the United States or Canada. So for the first time, we're going to be truly international. We're going to Malaysia, and I'm going to Malaysia.
I hear you already signed up. You got the early sign-up discount.
I've booked my flight. I have my hotel room.
You're scaring me, girl.
I am ready to go.
Oh, that's
I can't
awesome.
wait to see that part of the world. It's a part of the world that I've never really been in. But also, it's important for Toastmasters because this is the fastest growing part of the world in terms of membership.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Asia, the clubs are just expanding. I would anticipate that in a few years that there will be more clubs in Asia than there will be in North America.
Really? Now, will they speak English, or what will be the preferred language? Will they use their own native tongue, or will they?
They speak English. When they join a Toastmasters club, they generally, they give their speeches in English. As a matter of fact, a lot of them do it simply because they want to learn to be conversant in English.
Wow. So now, I certainly admire you, and I've known you for a very long time, and I think that you were involved in my getting involved in Toastmasters in 1992, 100 years ago, and I think you were there, you and Greg Batson, and I wanted to say another woman by the name of Joan, but I can't remember her last name. And I remember that, and you have held all of the positions, and you've been district governor, and now you're going to go to Malaysia, and you've done so much, and you're such an eloquent speaker. You are my inspiration because you're just awesome, and you're never afraid to get up, and whenever they call on you, you jump right up and say, I've got something important to say, and my ears go like tuning up because I want to hear what Elaine Rogers has to say. And I have admired you over the years, and my husband, Daryl Pone, actually is one of your biggest fans.
Really?
Yes, he is. And would you recommend this for young people? I heard you mentioned to me that you have a youth leadership involvement. Could you tell us about how important you think it is to young people to be able to speak well and present themselves well? But before you do that, I want to tell you that years ago I heard a statistic, and they interviewed people who were incarcerated. And most of the people who ended up fighting or breaking the law or doing something was in the absence of their ability to communicate. So they couldn't say it, so they tried to fight it. And so I don't know how true that statistic is, but I do know that being able to express yourself is important. And how early should a person start or embark upon a career in public speaking?
Well, I think that kids, they start very early, and it's only later on that the fear develops in them. So when they are 3 or 4, they're not afraid to stand up, and they're not
Right.
afraid to make fools of themselves. They will really get involved in plays. They have fun. Somewhere around 8 or 9, all of a sudden they start becoming afraid. They become afraid to express themselves because they're concerned about what people think about them. So
Yeah.
what you were talking about was the youth leadership program, and I think that it's a wonderful program that Toastmaster has. It's designed for young people from 12 to 18 years old, because once you're 18 you can actually join a Toastmasters club. It's an 8-week program. It's a communication and leadership program, because not only does it teach the young people to actually learn how to speak and express themselves well, but also teaches leadership. So they get a chance to do all kinds of things in a Toastmaster environment, just like we do in Toastmasters, because you and I are both Toastmasters.
Yes, I remember 2 clubs.
I'm a member of 5 clubs. So.
Oh my goodness! Oh no! Oh no! You mean I got to join 3 more clubs to be up there with you?
Yes, you're falling behind.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, I am excited. You know, one of the things that is most interesting to me is the involvement of young people. Now, actually, my mother insisted that I go to a certain school, and at that school, oratorical skills were required. In other words, you couldn't get out of junior high school unless you had taken so many credits or so many hours in orations, oratorical skills. And now we don't have it in our schools, and I would like to bring it back. Do you think that junior high is a good place for it to start?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. The young people today, not only do they not know how to write, but they don't know how to speak. You listen to them and it's like this, like that, like that. They are not learning to speak as well as they should. And I'm saying that I don't care about, social media is important, but we still will need to be able to communicate with each other.
Yes.
I noticed that other parts of the world are really
advancing.
And here, especially in the U.S., I don't think that we take it as seriously as we should. But the people who know how to communicate well are the ones who will be leaders.
Yes, and you see that. You see that. The ones who are leaders are great communicators.
Absolutely.
That is so important. We are my husband and I, we're part of a group called the Young Entrepreneurs. And we've been coaching them for the last 4.5 years. And they have consistently won first place in their high school students, the national competition.
Right.
And the leader of the program, Ms. Barbara Jordan, and another young lady whose name escapes me, said that they don't think that they could have won first place if they had not been able to articulate their business plan.
Right.
Because they want to go into business.
Right.
And they have to be able to say to your investors, if someone's going to invest $100,000 or $30,000, you're going to have to tell them and show them, in words, because they're not going to give you the money up front unless you can convince them that it's a good investment. So I applaud Ms. Barbara Jordan, who is with us, the Cedarmore Corporation, and they do an awesome job with those young people, and they just had their gala, and it was just awesome. I took lots of pictures.
Remember actually that group, because when I was doing coordination of the youth leadership program in District 46, and District 46
now where is District 46?
District 46 actually encompasses New York City, 4 boroughs, doesn't include Staten Island. It encompasses Long Island and Westchester. Okay. So I was doing a youth leadership coordination for the district, and I remember that one of the members of your Toastmasters Club was talking about it. He actually got some information from me, and I do remember it was a group of entrepreneurship. So what you did was to marry the the Toastmasters Youth Leadership Program with that entrepreneurship, and I think that that's great.
That was probably Pia Chera. I think
Yes, yes,
he's very
absolutely.
he is Toastmasters all the way. Now, the thing that I want to do is I want to start a Toastmasters for seniors. Because, you know, in my book, Fruit of the Spirit, I actually work with persons up to the age of 100.
Okay.
And they love to chat.
Oh, boy.
They're going like a mile a minute. When you go in their company, you have to be able to have everything you want to say programmed, and you have to say it fast because they have so much to say. And I love, love, love being in their company and hear how they can, the phraseology that they use, and the fact that they, you know, they came through the Great Depression, and they can tell you about it, they can articulate what that was about. And I would like to see us go into a really senior mode and have some competitions going on.
Sure.
And I don't know, is there an age at which you're too old to participate?
No. The only age that you cannot participate is when you're dead. I think it would be wonderful to have a Toastmasters Club at, let's say, every senior citizen center, because not only will it help them to be able to communicate and contribute, but they have so many stories to tell.
Yes,
I
yes.
love to listen to their stories, and it would be great to get those stories out
Yes, yes.
before they're gone.
Yes,
You know?
yes, yes.
So
'Cause no
I
one
think
can
that,
tell
I
it
think
the
that's
way
a
they
great
do.
idea. So and really it will also give them even more of a reason for living, because I think that sometimes our seniors don't feel as, I
That
guess,
is
as
so true.
welcome
That is
as
true.
they should be. We need to hear their stories. I am so sorry that I didn't write down the stories that my grandmother used to tell me.
Yes, yes, yes. So maybe we'll get together
So
and
maybe
put
we'll
that,
get together.
and put that on
Yeah.
forward.
Sure.
Because I think it would be well received, and I think that when seniors are committed to something, you don't have to worry about.
Of
You know,
course
they
not.
know how to get things done, and they've done it all their lives.
And they have time to prepare their speeches.
Yes, yes. The ones of them that don't have hot dates.
Yeah, oh,
you know, a lot of
yes,
dating
yeah.
go on, and I don't think that senior building is just sitting there and they just cooling their heels. They're having fun.
You say a hotbed of sex, is it? That's what you're saying?
Yes, there's been a lot of studies on that
Really?
to show, that you be careful to the women. But I'm excited about Toastmasters, and it means a lot to me. Both my husband and I, we're members, and to know that you're here and that you're willing to share and that you want to get involved with the young people and get them involved and get the seniors involved. And I think that if we do that, I think we'll make the world a better place. Because when you cannot express yourself, you deny not only yourself, but you also deny your audience, the ones who would hear you and hear your tidbits of wisdom, and the ones who would be blessed by your sharing can't be blessed and they can't hear if you don't speak.
I think that is especially important for women.
Oh, yes.
Communication skills, the oral communication skills is so important for women, because for a lot of women they don't have, or they feel that they don't have a voice. And sometimes in the workplace, as I go through the workplace and I tell them how important it is for them to learn how to communicate, I said, you go to meetings, don't you? And then you go to meetings and then you have a lot of great ideas, but some man will come up and he will say something and you're thinking, oh, I was thinking that. You were thinking it, but you didn't say it.
Right, right.
And thinking it doesn't count.
Right.
So we need to give voice to the thoughts in our heads. We are leaders, but we have to let people know that we are leaders by talking.
Yes, yes. And we run the households, which is
Yep.
the most important thing. We do everything. And I'm looking forward to women stepping forward. I'm looking for a change, particularly in the area of theology and the church. I think the church needs to make changes. In some churches, women are not even allowed to speak in the church. I was actually invited by Rebecca Parrish, who's written she's put together a film. This was at Barnard College, a film festival. And the film is on nuns on the bus. And nuns are rallying now to have a voice in the Catholic Church. So I think this is so important because we need to be able to speak. We need to have our voices, and women need to coalesce.
Right.
They need to come together. And at Women's TV, we are great supporters of women coming together. We love women from the cradle to the grave, and we believe that we can help them to make that journey by improved communication skills and just by taking good care of themselves and loving themselves. That's
Yes.
one thing I get my seniors to do. I say, stretch out your right arm, and they'd stretch it out. I say, stretch out your left arm, they'd stretch it out. I said, take your right arm and put it over your left shoulder. They'd put it over the left shoulder. And I said, now give yourself a big hug. And they would just start start rocking themselves as if they were babies.
Yeah.
And I think that there's nothing more important than hugging yourself, than loving yourself. And when you hug yourself and love yourself, that positions you in a place and a time where you can hug and love others,
Right.
which is the ultimate goal.
Right.
Because as they say in Arkansas, love makes the world go round. I don't know if you've heard that.
Oh, yes, I've heard that. And I think what you're doing here on Women's TV is tremendous.
Thank you.
I mean, you're really doing very, very important work, because what you're doing is giving voice to women, and hopefully the women who are looking at this will say, oh yes, I feel empowered. Look at what Gloria Nixon Pone is doing.
Oh, why, thank you.
And I can do that too. And I'm hoping also to get more women into Toastmasters International. I don't have any problem with us even taking over the organization.
Well, now tell me this. I know I attended the district, and a young man won first place.
Yes.
And historically, young men have been winning.
Yes.
So how do we break that barrier? How do we break that glass ceiling and get more women into the arena?
Well, I'll have to say, by the way, that there was one woman who competed. I think there was only one.
Yes, and she talked about her grandmother.
Her name was Vanessa Simon.
Oh, is that right?
And she's actually from my club.
Oh, excuse me.
From MI Toastmasters. She wanted to go, and we were behind her 100%, and she actually went up there. While she didn't actually take on the trophy, she actually won, as far as we're concerned.
Yes.
We need to get more women thinking that they can do it.
That's wonderful. There's an ancient Hebrew that says that the most awesome form of communication is a word of encouragement. And that's written in the ancient Hebrew. And it says that as long as today is called today, let us engage ourselves in the ministry of encouragement. So speaking a good word is encouragement. And here at Women's TV, we're committed to speaking good words, even if we run across someone who may not be as nice as they can be. Very often I'll give them a good word and they say, oh, you cheered me up. And I say to myself, that was my objective. I don't tell them that, of course. But at Women's Television, that's Women's TV, you can find us or email us at women, WOMEN, STVNY, because we're the New York affiliate, and at gmail.com. So that's women's with an S, TV, NY at gmail.com. And also our site is drglorianixonpone.com. And if you want to hear more about TV, Toastmasters International, we'll place their information on our website.
Right.
And if you want to go to Malaysia with Elaine and I, did you hear me say, I'm going to Malaysia?
Going to Malaysia.
Woo! I have to learn how to speak Malaysianese or whatever.
Oh, they speak English very well.
They speak English very well.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that. And also my sponsor today is Dr. Daryl Pone, who at PoneInspirations.com. I bribe him. That's my husband, of course. And I'm excited that we have the support that we have. So I will repeat for you, PoneInspirations.com, and drglorianixonpone.com. And the email, if you know a woman with a great story, please do not hesitate. Email today at womenstvny@gmail.com. So we will be looking forward to hearing from you. We're looking forward to hearing your story, because there are no bad stories. Every story brings life, happiness, and joy to someone. So we are looking forward to hearing from you. So come on out, girl. Don't be shy. You know you're not shy anyway. And give us an opportunity to share your story. We're actually going to be journaling them and documenting them. Okay, be blessed.